Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of Diplomatic Enclave. I'm your host Umar Khalid. But now today we've got a rare opportunity of a man who lives in another country that we'll talk of much later. But he represents our country as the Honorary Consul. Germany and Pakistan have a very strong relationship, and it's building over the years. It has been building over the decades, and now it's even getting stronger with time passing, especially in sectors such as economy. Now, the person that is my guest for today's show is one that has handled a lot of things in the business circle in Germany, in a certain state of Germany that is called Bavaria, which is known to be the largest state of Germany and is also known for many important companies that have their base there, such as Audi, such as BMW, such as even Adidas and Puma. And now he is the Honorary Consul of Pakistan in the state of Bavaria. His name, Dr. Poetis. He's my guest for today. Thank you very much, Dr. Poetis.
Thank you for having me. Great pleasure.
Now, Dr. Poetis, what brings you to Pakistan?
As I just said when we were preparing today's TV show, my daughter Philomena, who was an opera singer, and she had an invitation at the Karachi, from the Karachi Consul General, the German Consul General, Mr. Schmidtchen, and she performed there, and tonight she will be performing at the German Embassy.
All right.
Opera singer, soprano, so German culture to Pakistan.
That's brilliant. Now you represent Pakistan in Bavaria, and also you're part of this Pak German economic group that forms the friendship, especially in the economic circuit between both countries. Not only that, now your daughter is a part of that cultural forum that bridges both countries together. Now, how important do you feel is the friendship between Germany and Pakistan, or Bavaria and Pakistan?
Oh, it's very important. As you may know, Bavaria, especially Germany and Bavaria, they depend on exports. They depend on manufacturing, and they depend on internationalization. So the Pakistani market, with more than 200 million people, is a very utmost importance for the German companies, especially the middle-sized companies who are located in Bavaria, so it's a very important cooperation.
All right. Dr. Poetis, let us start by talking a bit about yourself. How did you enter in the field of business? Was it an interest that you had since childhood, or was it something that was going on from generation to generation?
Well, actually, from generation to generation, all our family members were lawyers.
All right.
And I studied law myself in the university in Munich, and then I decided to go into business.
All right.
And I started my career with the Quant Group. It is a group which is a family-owned group, which is also a shareholder with BMW. So this is how the career started, and from there on it just moved the way it moved.
All right. Well, it has moved quite a long way, and you've established yourself as a man of substance, if you can say, in the world of business in Bavaria, and now this relationship with Pakistan that has solidified your position as well. Your wife is a designer and is now working for your company. Now, is it difficult to mix the personal and professional together, especially at work?
No, I was very happy to do so. Because being in the management for the last 25, 28 years, I very seldom saw my wife, to be very honest.
Okay.
And now I'm very happy that she is in our company now since 5 or 6 years. And she's a great support because, you know, even if you discuss things in the evening or during the weekends, it's much more convenient than doing the day-to-day business.
Tell us a little bit about your company and what are the main functions?
The main functions are looking at strategies, especially on strategies for new products, new markets, and market entry strategies.
All right.
So we are absolutely on the right spot with Pakistan, because many of the German companies are asking for feasibility studies from our side, telling them how to enter the market in Pakistan, what will be the hurdles, what will be the opportunities, and so on. So that's my day-to-day business.
All right. Bavaria. Now, a lot of people know about Germany, but many do not know about Bavaria. Now, Bavaria is the largest state of Germany, and it's also a state that has shown its presence because of its economic position. Tell us a little bit about its history, because I was reading through it. It's got centuries of history.
Yeah, well, this is, I mean, you're in the center of Europe, so there is a lot of history there. But Bavaria, the state of Bavaria, the interesting thing about it is that in Bavaria we have a lot of middle-sized, smaller and middle-sized companies. And from the beginning of Bavaria, they were very eager to do business worldwide. So they invented the post system for Germany. So postage and everything which goes with that. The coaches those days were centralized in Bavaria. We did have a lot of manufacturing, hand manufacturing. It started with hand manufacturing and of course with engineering. And now we feel that Bavaria is one of the strongest states as far as engineering is concerned.
All right.
We are the biggest taxpayer in Germany. So we are quite powerful money-wise as far as politics are concerned. So Berlin shouldn't leave us out if there are major decisions to be taken.
Of course, it's known as one of the largest, biggest economies in Germany and also in Europe. So many companies have got a Bavarian base, companies like Audi, companies like Grundig, Siemens, BMW, Adidas or Puma. Now, with companies such as these, you can't go wrong.
No, absolutely. And the history is interesting because someone like Siemens, for instance, he was an engineer. And this is how he started his business. He started by engineering. And I think that he would never have thought that this company would be accelerating such as it did worldwide. And this is what happened to quite a few companies in Bavaria. Yes, absolutely right. All right.
And currently, how is the economy growing? Has it become steady at a certain rate, or do you feel it's still growing and it still has opportunities or lacunas that it can fill?
Well, it has, I mean, there are challenges worldwide, but nevertheless, the German economy, especially the middle-sized and bigger companies, are doing well. Very well, to be honest. They are facing, of course, as I said, issues and challenges, but they're doing quite well. And they are the backbone of the German economy, and still are, and they will be for the next century, I'm sure.
All right. Now, Bavaria's got, if you read into it, it's got 7 administrative divisions, and it's not a small state at all. It's quite a huge state. How is all of that managed, and how does the government facilitate the companies such as yours for building up the economy?
Well, the law system is, of course, very transparent. And it eases things for the companies. So if there is transparency, you have the ability of knowing what your risks are and what your opportunities are. And there's quite a support from the Bavarian government. They have founded quite a few organizations, not only enabling but also encouraging Bavarian companies to go abroad. We have the so-called division of Bayern International. They look at the international businesses. And even if middle-sized companies may be hesitant to go into a new market, they were supported, or they are supported by these organizations. And so Bavaria knows that it owes its strength to these companies and does the utmost they can do to support them.
All right. Now, for any economy to build and to strengthen, you need a very strong government. You've got a multi-party government system in Bavaria. How much of that works for facilitating business in Bavaria?
Well, we have a very strong party, which is the CSU in Bavaria, and they have been in charge for many, many decades. So there is a stable political situation in Bavaria. And from there on, as I said, the traditional support of the companies has been a good thing to do for the last 50 years, actually.
All right. Culture also defines any state or any country. How different is the culture of Bavaria from that of Germany?
Well, language-wise, there is a difference.
You've got 3 dialects, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, well, at least. I mean, it's a little bit like in Pakistan. If you look at the different regions, you have different dialects and different languages, of course, by the end of the day. But the interesting thing about the Bavaria is quite a few similarities. We have the high mountains, we have agriculture, and Bavaria used to be an agriculture state. But one of the political leaders, Franz Josef Strauss, who was a very important leader those days, he thought that they should focus on the new industries.
All right.
And then he created a overall claim, you may say, which he said, laptop, where he said laptop and Lederhose. So he meant the laptop, the IT, with the Lederhose, which is the leather trousers, which is the traditional menswear in Bavaria. So he was trying to combine the newest IT solutions with tradition. So he wanted to keep tradition on the one hand side and to improve technology. And this is why he encouraged any kind of company to go into the new markets and to new businesses and to accelerate engineering.
When you accelerate engineering and you enter new markets, how easy or difficult is it for that company to survive in the international circuit? I'm talking to you because you handle one of such companies.
Well, the interesting thing is, of course, you have to compete and you have to look at your competition. Competition, for instance, if you are looking at China, is fierce, especially price-wise. So pricing can't be an issue. So this is one of the reasons why the Germans have focused on quality.
All right.
And you know that the Merchant Act from the British was meant to keep people from buying German. So this is how the Made in Germany was invented. But at the end of the day, the Germans were able to actually guarantee quality. So now it is a quality signal to say, and a quality brand to say Made in Germany. But this is the only option they had, and they actually did quite well with it.
All right. Now that you're part of the European Union as well, how much does that help boosting business within the European Union and outside?
Well, it does. Easy answer, it does, because the European market for the Bavarians is of utmost importance. So there are quite close connections to France, to Italy, Switzerland, of course. France is one of the biggest markets for the Bavarian companies, so it is of utmost importance. It can't be neglected. Internationally, of course, the international markets, as I already pointed out, we have to compete with the Chinese, and this is a challenge where everybody has taken within Germany, not only within Bavaria, but all the Germans feel that this is a competition they have to actually move on to.
All right. When you mix business and culture, you've got certain traditions as well that come into play. I was reading about Tracht. Am I
Tracht, yes.
saying it right? That is your costume,
exactly, yes.
national costume that you wear in Bavaria. What is it all about?
Well, this is part of it is the lederhosen, the leather trousers I was just pointing out. There's a special dress for the ladies, and the men wear these leather trousers. You can have them as shorts in a longer version, etc. And now the interesting thing about Bavaria is that quite a few decades ago, nobody was really interested in Tracht anymore.
Okay.
But now it has become very popular because people feel that in a international world, and as the world becoming as such as it becomes very international and very, they think they have to have new characteristics. So a lot of people are wearing Tracht again.
Okay. Kind of maintaining the traditions of the
yes, and we do have the Oktoberfest, as you may know, which is the biggest fair for Tracht. And now I think at least 70–80% of all visitors wear the Tracht.
Tell us a little bit about other traditions that are specific to Bavaria.
Well, the Bavarian traditions, as I already pointed out, one of the main traditions is the Oktoberfest. And one of the traditions is especially drinking the beer, of course. There are a lot of breweries in Bavaria. It used to be, historically speaking, used to be a habit to have one brewery for every village. So you can imagine there's a lot of Bavarian beer around.
All right.
And this is why Bavarians also export their beer worldwide, and also the beer brewing technology. So for them it's very interesting. And I do think there's also non-alcoholic beer in Pakistan from Bavarian technology, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
so,
you're completely right.
yeah.
That is available since quite some time here in Pakistan. You were talking about your daughter who is an opera singer and who's been invited here, and that's due to which you're here as well along with your wife. Music, how important is music to Bavaria? I know that the bagpipe is a traditional musical instrument for Bavaria. Now, with generations, I've seen in a lot of countries, in a lot of other even Western states, music losing its importance, especially traditional music. Has it been the same for Bavaria?
I'm not quite sure if I'm the right person to ask this question. I'm sorry. But as far as from my personal view, the traditional music has also been revived. There's a lot of new traditional music around, much more than it has been in the last 20 years. So there is a tendency toward tradition. And especially if you look at the Tracht you have already mentioned, so the costumes, the Bavarian costumes, this goes of course with the traditional music, because you can't have a Tracht fair or a party celebrating these costumes, etc., without the music. So as I'm not an expert on this, but nevertheless I would assume that there's a tendency towards the historical way of having the parties and really celebrating the music.
Has opera evolved in Bavaria?
Yes, the opera is very important for us, because one of the biggest opera houses in Europe is in Bavaria, in Munich, our hometown. This is where our children have been educated. So they have started very young at the Munich Opera Choir.
All right.
So there is every big opera you may know, Otello or whatever, they have a children's choir. They need them, the children's on the stage. So the children on the stage. So there is a fierce competition for the children to go into the opera. And our 3 daughters were all of them at the Bavarian Opera. So there's a very close contact. And this is where the love for the music has actually evolved, and this is where it started. This kind of love affair with the music has started for our daughters.
Well, I hope it does continue with your further generations to come as well. But opera or traditional music or other such cultural important traditions, are they backed by the government in Bavaria?
Yes. You can't afford an opera house if the state doesn't help financially wise.
All right.
So this is the costs, especially in big cities like Munich, are tremendous, and so you have to have support.
All right.
There are also quite a few projects with public companies coming in and supporting the opera house, because, as I said, there are huge expenses involved. But nevertheless, even there, the backbone is the Bavarian government.
All right. So the Bavarian government is important. You've got 7 administrative divisions, as I said in the very beginning. Now, how does the government handle all these 7 administrative divisions? Is there only one government that handles all of them, or are there sub-governments in all these divisions?
There are sub-governments, yes, there are sub-governments, and they of course meet, and they have their parliament in Munich. So they meet again, and it's a very complex system, starting with a very small political circle, and going up until you end up in the Munich as the ruler city of Bavaria.
All right. Being a businessman, how much does the government facilitate you, and how easy is the system for a businessman to kind of begin his business and climb up the ladder?
Well, the opportunities in Germany are fantastic. As you may know from my CV, my family comes from Cyprus, and we had to leave 1974. We came back to Germany because of the war in Cyprus, and we built all our careers, all of us, my brother, my sister, myself, in Germany. It starts with the education system. You don't have to pay for it. This is all governmental, and the quality of the education system is very high. The universities are, as far as payments are concerned, access free. So if you're doing well with your studies, you can become a doctorate, you can anything you would like to. It doesn't cost you a penny. And the education is very, very, as I said, very high level, and the universities are ranked among the best of the world. So I would encourage every young Pakistani today to go to the Goethe Institute to take some German lessons, not only learning the English language, but also learning German, especially if they're interested in engineering, and come to Germany. And Bavaria has the best universities in the world. All right. So yeah, I can encourage you anytime sending us Pakistani young people to come to Bavaria.
I'll take you on that. We're in conversation with Dr. Poetis. We'll be back after a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Diplomatic Enclave, and I'm in conversation with the Honorary Consul of Pakistan in Bavaria, Mr. and I would say Dr. Poetis. Now, Dr. Poetis, you're a doctor in law. Now, how does one mix law and business?
So you can't do any kind of business, at least in Germany anymore, without the law being of influence of some kind. So it was, for me as a young man, it was a good decision to decide to learn the law, learn about the law, especially in Germany, because you have so many regulations you should know of as soon as you start on your own business. And this I did, and I've never regretted it.
All right. Now, if one goes through your CV, it's quite impressive. Like up till 2000, you were the CEO of various subsidiaries of Dalton AG, and then from 2004, you became a member of the executive board of the TBWA company. After that, you did a management buyout of a company. Now, that is a very complex procedure, buying out another company. Does it come easy for somebody who's done a doctorate in law?
No. Because, I mean, as far as the jurisdiction is concerned, it's not so difficult. But it starts when the money comes in. So by the end of the day, it has to be a good deal. And this is where the headaches come from. So it's by the end of the day, if you know the law, it's about doing a good business or not. And yeah, today I can say it was a good deal.
All right. Now, Power Group. Is it one of the, I mean, you won't say on the contrary, but is it one of the top companies in Bavaria at this moment?
Oh, no, I wouldn't, no, I wouldn't be as arrogant to say such a thing. No. We are focused on quite big projects, but we are like a boutique in comparison to the giants around.
All right.
But this is what makes us unique by the end of the day.
You do a lot of evaluation analysis as well of different companies. Now, how important is it when you're a businessman or the CEO of a company to evaluate other companies?
Oh, it's very important. So if you don't do your homework, you're in trouble. You're in fierce trouble. And things have become very complicated nowadays because most of the businesses are international and multinational. So you're not evaluating your neighbor or your neighbor project, you're evaluating a project in Pakistan. You're building my wife, you may know from my CV, is building for humanitarian reasons, building clinics for children and mothers in Pakistan. And it's not an easy task to build a clinic in Pakistan from Munich, which is quite a few miles away. So you have to evaluate and do your homework, yes.
All right. And the government in Bavaria has noticed that you're doing quite a lot of work. You were awarded in 2005 the holder of the Melvin Jones Award of the Lions Club. Now, when people award you, of course, your standing goes up, but the responsibilities increase as well. Have you ever felt that the onus of responsibility has increased on you since the people have started acknowledging your work?
Not really, because I was always one step ahead. Actually, to be honest, I'm very honored by the honors, but I don't really care as a person. So we were already thinking at new projects, increasing the projects and so on. So no.
All right. And you're also giving lectures. You've given so many, taken out so many publications. You're a Euroform lecturer as well. Does it become difficult to do all of this at one time? I mean, handling a company, doing so many other things, and at the same time lecturing and taking out publications, or does it come very easy to somebody like you?
It comes very easy because it's the same focus.
All right.
So I mean, looking at the issues, and if they're more or less the same issues, it doesn't matter from what angle or what kind of organization you're doing it for. So it's no, to give a very short answer to your question, no, it's not a problem.
All right. Do you play any sports, Dr.
Not
Poetis?
really. This is a problem. This is a problem. So my wife and I, we try to keep fit, but do some jogging and some sports. But
I think you're quite fit. But Germans have this habit of keeping themselves fit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I come to Pakistan, I always put on 1-2 kilos. So
but you always lose them when you go back.
The food is so good.
But speaking of sports, I mean, Germany, Bavaria, you've got the Bayern Munich, you've got the FC Nuremberg. Yeah. Are you an avid follower of sports?
Yes, yes, yes. But I'm not as avid as my son is.
All right.
But we, of course, support Bayern Munich. It's,
right.
this is in the genes. So, and we, of course, have seats in the stadium. So
right.
anytime you come and visit us, please be our guest.
Oh, I'll take you on that.
So yes, please. And I mean, it's incredible experience to come there. And there's a wonderful stadium, and Bayern Munich is doing quite well. They lost a match 2 weeks ago, but nevertheless, this was a long roll win, so we're on a good side.
All right. Well, that's great, because sports is also something that's important for any country, just like culture and other aspects of a nation. I think sports also bridges boundaries and builds stronger links with other countries, especially when you play in international tournaments and win.
Yeah.
Isn't that the case? Well, economy, that's your forte. The GDP of Bavaria was quite strong, 470.2 billion euros in 2013. Do you only see it going up the trajectory in the coming years?
Hopefully, yes. Yes.
And what do you feel are the basic components that elevate it to that level?
Well, as I said, the quality of engineering, the standards and the quality standards.
All right.
So, and the reliability. So if you really buy German products, you are in the quality, you have a quality guarantee. They may be, the purchasing them may be a little bit more expensive, but at the end of the day, they last much longer than any other kind of product. So this is a unique selling proposition from the German products, yes. And they're always focusing on engineering and try to be a step ahead. Up to now, they've been able to do so. There are quite a few challenges, of course, but nevertheless, it's how the market moves. And the Germans have decided that they will be still challenging the market, and they want to be number 1 or 2.
All right. So we never know, we might remain number 1 for many years to come in the future.
Hopefully, yes.
Since 2008, you've got another very important responsibility that has bridged both Germany and Pakistan together. You've been the Vice President of the German-Pakistan Forum. Now tell us a little bit about the German-Pakistan Forum.
Well, the interesting thing about Germany and Pakistan is that the cultures have similarities, but by the end of the day, the Germans do not know enough about Pakistan. So the German-Pakistan Forum has aimed in educating Germans as far as the culture of Pakistan is concerned, even starting with geography. Many Germans are not aware about the geostrategic positioning of Pakistan and the importance of Pakistan. They are not aware about the cultural heritage of Pakistan. They are not very well informed about the political situation. So these are all topics we would like to, or we do handle with the Pakistan Forum. We of course have events and conferences, etc., trying to educate people and interested for Pakistan.
All right. Now, this German-Pakistan Forum, how much of support has it gotten from the Pakistani and the German side, as far as the governments are concerned?
Well, from the government side, to be honest, I don't think there is quite a support.
All right.
This has been more or less a private initiative, and has been kept on for many decades. And most of it is financed from private donors.
All right.
And there wasn't actually much of a necessity to be involved in any kind of state support up to now.
All right. You're also the delegate of industrial relations in the German-Pakistan Forum. Now, when it comes to industrial relations, I feel it's very important when it comes to business communities in any country or bridging gaps between two countries. How much progress have you seen since 2008 as far as industrial relationship between Pakistan and Germany is concerned?
Well, to be honest, we do see that since the CPEC, there has been a change.
All right.
Not before that.
All right.
Germans were very hesitant investing in Pakistan, and since CPEC, the world has changed. One of the reasons is because one of the biggest competitors of the Germans, the Chinese, of course,
yes,
are moving in Pakistan. And the Germans feel that if the Chinese move in, we should be there also. And this has accelerated the whole process in Germany.
All right.
It has given us many opportunities to support Pakistan-German economic relationships. But it really has started and caught up
Since the CPEC?
Since the CPEC, not before that.
All right. Now, you've said that it has kind of picked up steam since CPEC
Yes.
started. What kind of initiatives have you seen from the German side, or what kind of companies do you feel from the German side are interested in coming or in investing in Pakistan?
Well, it's obviously that most of them, it starts with the logistics. So all the logistic companies are interested. They don't want to leave the overall worldwide logistic to the Chinese. This is one. The other one is, of course, the other step would be all the engineering companies. So the automotive companies are looking at Pakistan from a different angle. They are also looking at Pakistan for a production hub, because now, due to the new geostrategic situation, it might or does seem that Pakistan is the right place to be for production.
Okay.
So from here, you can, of course, export in all the countries, even into China.
All right.
So the CPEC is not a one-way road from the Germans' side. So it could also be, Pakistan can also be the door opener for Western China for the German companies.
Exactly. I mean, CPEC will be a game changer in the years to come, not only for Pakistan, not only for China, but for so many other countries that get themselves involved in it. Russia has recently also indicated that it wants to be part of it. And you see, it gives investment. And when you've got investment opportunities, any country can be part of it. And that only boosts the economy of that country, because indirectly the people are buying, or it gives them that route to access other countries. Now, in the coming years, what kind of investment or business relations do you see developing between Pakistan and Germany?
Well, the main aim for Germans, especially Bavarians, would be middle-sized technology companies.
When you say middle-sized technology companies, what do you mean exactly?
We mean money-wise or manufacturing-wise?
Manufacturing-wise.
Manufacturing-wise, it starts with all kinds of technology, cameras, the IT production, spare parts for automotive, and it also includes textiles. We have a tendency towards technical textiles worldwide.
All right.
So what has been a easy to manufacture T-shirt now becomes a high-end, very sophisticated piece of garment. So there's any kind of engineering you can imagine of. But especially for Bavaria, as you already pointed out, as we do have Adidas and Puma, it's textiles, of course, automotive, energy is quite a thing with Siemens, medical. So all the medical spare parts, medical devices can be manufactured, already are manufactured in Pakistan, but the Germans always feel they can leverage the quality standards. So this is what they're looking at, especially one of the what the aims of our feasibility studies is to identify the manufacturing companies here in Pakistan, taking a close look and answering the question, is an quality upgrade possible or not, and what this would involve money-wise and engineering-wise.
All right.
And this is something I would love to support as Honorary Consul, because for me it's very important that the Pakistan quality standards are on a competing level towards all the other countries around. So I want to see Pakistan in a better shape than the Indian production, than the Chinese production, Bangladeshi production. And we do feel that we have the right know-how in order to support Pakistan to do so.
Exactly. Speaking of know-how, 2009, you kind of expanded that know-how towards Pakistan as you become the Honorary Consul General for Pakistan in Bavaria. How much of responsibility does that entail in addition to all that you're doing?
Oh, that's quite a load. So we had a family decision. You may know that we have 4 children, my wife and I.
Yes.
And we had a family session. It took quite a while, because I said I will only take the job if the family agrees, but not only agrees, also supports us.
All right.
And there was a great support from our children. And this makes us not only very happy, it is actually a great support. And from there on, I feel very, very safe, because if there's something I can't do, one of the family member will stand up and say, I'll do it for you, Daddy, don't worry.
That's great. What kind of responsibilities does being an honorary consul of Pakistan in Bavaria entail? I mean, what are you looking at improving as far as relations between both countries are concerned?
Well, we are looking at one very interesting event in Bavaria is the yearly security conference. I don't know if you heard of it. The security conference is held once a year from Ambassador Ischinger in Munich. And it is actually, as the name already points out, security. You talk about security issues. Of course, security issues have been always a theme for the German companies, especially with the Afghan-Pakistan border, Taliban, and so on and so on. But it also influences the economic decisions. So if the German decision maker from a stock company in Germany would look at the Pakistani market from the point of view of a market entry study, he would immediately also ask the question of how is the stability, the political stability, and how is the military situation. And we have to provide this information, and we have to see to it that we convince the decision makers that it is a good idea to come and invest in Pakistan. And this is what actually my job is, telling people the story, and this is I'm very thankful for you that you have invited me today to your today's show, because we have to tell the decision makers' story, saying we have to actually accelerate and to communicate the image, the positive image of Pakistan.
That is very important.
And this is one of my key jobs, actually.
All right, Dr. Poetis, do you intend to bring on business delegations from Germany, companies that are interested in investing in Pakistan through CPEC or other avenues in the near future?
Well, we already had the first delegation, a couple of weeks ago from Sindh. In Bavaria, in Munich, with approximately 40 or 50 members. A huge delegation, was fantastic, and there would be a counter visit from the German side now to Sindh, and we are also planning a delegation to Islamabad. Things, as I said, have caught up quite a lot as soon as the Germans have realized that CPEC is giving acceleration to Pakistan, and they have to be part of the party.
What about high-level visits? For example, you could bring on your Minister for Economy or convince him to come to Pakistan, or vice versa, take our minister to Bavaria to talk to the business delegates.
Yeah, anytime he will be happily invited. We're trying to convince our king, as we say. He is, of course, not our king, but our king in Bavaria, which is Mr. Seehofer, to come to Pakistan, because one experience we had is either you love it or hate it, Pakistan. We love it, so we are here. And the other thing we have found is that as soon as a person has come to Pakistan and saw with his own eyes what is happening here, he's so happy and he will come again. And he will spread the positive story. So it's very difficult to convince a person about the fantastic Pakistan when you talk to him in Bavaria. Things change immediately as soon as you have taken the person to Pakistan. He has, had the traveling experience in Pakistan, friendly people, and so on and so on. Things change immediately.
Dr. Poetis, being an honorary consul, what are the factors you feel are behind Pakistan's image getting such negativity abroad? Because, as you said, and I've seen that myself with many of other foreign colleagues who've told me themselves that when they came to Pakistan, their whole image changed and they wanted to stay over as long as they could in Pakistan. Why does this negative image come to the West or other areas of the world against Pakistan? And it's only when people come here that they understand, oh, it's not what it's portrayed as.
Well, one thing is that, the media knows that bad news sell much better than good news. So this is one problem. The other one is that, of course, you had quite a few in the last couple of years, quite a few issues with terrorism. And, of course, these news were spread all over the globe, and especially even to Germans. And Germans are very hesitant, and they are not very courageous going somewhere to, if as soon as they are risking their lives. And sometimes the media just put it that way. So everybody thought if you step on Pakistani ground, you will immediately be killed or whatever.
All right. One last question. We're a bit short of time, Dr. Poetis. How do you see the future of German-Pakistan relations, especially in the business sector?
Bright.
All right.
Very bright. And I'm very happy to say that there are so many German companies now in feasibility studies entering the market in Pakistan. And as I already pointed out, due to the CPEC, which really helps. And the Germans don't want to leave the markets to the Chinese.
All right.
And this encourages us to help them.
But it's good. It's good competition there. Whichever company comes, and let's see how they do it up here. But German companies are renowned for their work capabilities, and let's hope that the China-Pakistan economic corridor brings in countries such as yours and investors from countries such as yours to even forge on that unity between Germany and Pakistan. Thank you very much, Dr. Poetis.
My
You have joined us, but wonderful talking to you. I wish and I hope I could have also talked to your wife and your daughter, but unfortunately that was not the case. I hope for another time that will happen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Poetis. Not only is he the Honorary Consul of Pakistan in Bavaria, but he's also a leading businessman and a doctor in law, and has such positive things to talk about Pakistan and, of course, the relationship that exists between Germany and Pakistan. Let's hope it stabilizes even further with the CPEC and with the further years and decades to come. Umar Khalid bids you farewell from this episode of Diplomatic Enclave. We'll be back, inshallah, next week, same time, same channel. Take care of yourselves, and Allah Hafiz.